Hey everybody, the Long Shot Signatures here. This is episode 38 of my 2023 TTMs. We are finishing off this week with, I think it's 7 successes. We're going to start off with a couple racing returns. First one here is coming back from a former NASCAR driver. This took a minute to get back, so it kind of stinks that he only signed 2 of 4. Was trying to add to a set that I was working on, and then I included an extra card that I had. But he signed 2 of 4 in 312 days. This is coming back from Kenny Wallace. So he did sign one of the 94 max cards, which is a set that I'm working on. I already have his 91 max, so I just threw that in. Thought he was, cool with signing multiples. Looks like he might be limiting it to 2, or he knows that I've sent to him before, but it's been a long time. But I did get my other 2 cards back unsigned, so that'll have to be a future request out at some point. Then we have an IndyCar return. This guy raced in 2 Indy 500s. Really didn't do all that much in the IndyCar series. He raced for several years. I think he raced in part of 9 different seasons, but pretty decent. This is a 2 of 2 success in 5 days. Not my quickest return ever, but definitely up there, from Phil Kruger, who signed this one, and then he also personalized this one that I sent to him. Then we have a former college football coach. I've been looking at different teams' histories and finding former coaches that they had that are still alive that I feel like I have a good shot of being able to locate and send to. And this is another one of those success stories. This is a 2 of 2 return coming back in 11 days from former Louisiana Tech head coach Joe Raymond Peace, who inscribed "Peace be with you," which works out really well given his name. But he finished his tenure there with a 40, 44, and 4 record, and the one bowl game that they went to, they tied. So that was it's a very, very even career. But thought that was a pretty cool one to add. I think he's the 4th different Louisiana Tech head coach I've been able to add to the collection. We got a couple more returns from the Detroit Red Wings autographs for a cause program, and the rest of these will also be hockey-related successes, all actively involved in the NHL, actually. First one is a 1 of 1 return in 99 days from Red Wings goaltender Ville Husso. I was able to get Husso quite a while ago, probably 4 or 5 years ago, on his rookie card before he had made his NHL debut. So I already have that one signed, and then he started getting some playing time with the St. Louis Blues, who drafted him. Pretty sure they drafted him. Got some wins. They added his card in the extended series of the 2020-21 Upper Deck cards, so sent that in with the $10 fee being paid beforehand. And he's been lights out for the Red Wings. He's become their starting goaltender. He's played really, really well this season. He's one of the main reasons that they're still in contention for a playoff spot. So he's taken over that starting role after being traded away from the Blues, who didn't feel like they could re-sign him. They had already signed Jordan Bennington to a pretty long-term extension. So Detroit picked him up, and that's worked out really well for the team. The other one from the Autographs for a Cause program is a 2 of 2 success coming back in 58 days. What does kind of stink is that the rookie card got smeared, but this is coming back from Dominic Kubalik. So not the greatest circumstances that happen with this, but I do have an identifying thumbprint if I ever need to get it certified. No, it stinks, but it happens. He also signed his 20-21 Upper Deck card as well. Kind of dark spotted it, but it is what it is. He's another player that was a really good young piece for the Chicago Blackhawks. That was kind of weird that they moved on from him. He had 30 goals his first professional season. I think he was 24 years old. So it was kind of like, hey, you kind of expect that from a guy who's a little bit older. But to come into the NHL like that and look really good kind of set the expectations high. And he hasn't reached that level again of production, but he's also been a really good depth piece. So Chicago decided that he wasn't worth keeping around. Detroit picked him up, and he's continued his scoring pace that he had set in his sophomore season past. So he's a really good player. It stinks for the Blackhawks that they didn't hold on to him, but Detroit is also reaping the rewards of acquiring him. Then we have an NHL general manager return. This is one of the newest GMs in the league, having taken over the position last summer. He signed one of two. He kept the other photo in 18 days from Avalanche GM Chris McFarland over there on the right. He kept the other photo of him lifting the Stanley Cup. I don't know, maybe that photo wasn't of him. It's kind of hard to tell. But he did include some cool decals of the team, which was nice of him. It was a surprising move by the Colorado Avalanche because Joe Sakic had been their GM for quite some time. And then after winning a Stanley Cup, he announced that he was going to be moving up in the organization, giving the GM role to Chris McFarland. So it's kind of sounds like what the Golden Knights did between George McPhee and Kelly McCrimmon. They didn't want to lose McFarland to another team, so they just went ahead and promoted him with Joe Sakic stepping aside but still being involved with the team. So there's questions on who is actually running the player personnel decisions and all that when moves like that happen. But regardless, the Avalanche are still competing for a playoff spot and trying to repeat as Stanley Cup champions. And last one here is coming back from an NHL goaltending prospect. This guy was selected in the first round a few years ago. I don't remember exactly when that was. I don't have it pulled up here. But he was selected in the first round. And I think he was the only first-round goaltender that year by the Minnesota Wild. This guy has been signing like crazy for a bunch of fans. So really, really cool. Hope he makes it to the NHL sometime soon. This is a 2 of 2 return in 11 days from Minnesota Wild prospect goaltender Jesper Wallstedt. He's had some pretty good seasons. I think that's in Sweden for quite some time. He made his American Ice debut in the AHL this year, playing really well. The Iowa Wild haven't really been giving him all the chances in the world to rack up wins, but he's still playing well as an individual. And with the way the salary cap situation looks for the Wild going forward, they're going to need to rely on some young talent. So they are hoping Wallstedt will be able to step in soon and play at that high level. So really nice returns today. Great way to end the week. 20 successes over the past 2 days, mainly from the Autographs for a Cause program. But I will take the autographs any way that I can get them. That is it for this one. Thank you guys for watching. I really appreciate it. It helps me out a lot. Best luck with your guys' collecting. Take care.